Sixth graders, today we're going to talk about writing a formula for a number, for a composite number. Okay? And what we're going to be talking about is prime factorization. The prime factorization is the formula for making a number. And the formula is made up of only prime numbers. Okay? So, I said before that prime numbers are kind of like elements in science. And if you combine elements, you make a compound, like water. Water has a formula of H2O. Okay? We're going to be writing formulas like this, except for instead of the letters, we're going to use numbers. And instead of this little number on the bottom, which tells you how many molecules, we're going to use exponents, which are the little numbers at the top. Sometimes we'll write numbers as powers. So, let's look at this example. First, how do you find the prime factorization of a number? Like 165. You start with the number, and you'll be given a number. And you have to find what goes into that number. Okay? How do you find what goes into a number? What did we do before?
If it's even, just do 2.
Yeah. Yep, use the rules that we learned. If it's even, divide it by 2. If the sum of the digits is divisible by 3, then divide it by 3. See what you get. If it ends in a 5, then divide it by 5 and see what you get. So we know 165 is divisible by 5. And so what you would do is do 165 divided by 5. Find the answer. It's 33, isn't it? Then you take this answer and you write it underneath the number. And what we're going to end up with is called a factor tree. So it shows what two numbers make the number above it. Okay? So 5 times 33 is 165, right? Now, go to the next level and look for other composite numbers. 5 is a prime number, so we can stop with 5. But 33 is not a prime number. What goes into 33? 3 and 11. So we'd write 33 as 3 times 11. And write those underneath the other composite number. Okay? So now we have all prime numbers left at the bottom. There's no other factors that we have to write. So we take these prime numbers and write it into a formula. 3 times 5 times 11. All of these numbers must be prime when you write it into the formula. Okay? And then your formula should equal the number you're starting with, 165. Make sure that you write them in numerical order. All right? Let's do some examples on your worksheet. So, number 1, instead of 165, we just have 65. So, what number goes into 65 besides 13, which is given for you? Jack? 5. So, you'd write 5 on the line, and then write the formula as 5 times 13 equals 65. Matt, number 2?
5 times 9 equals 45, and 3 times 3 equals 9.
Right. So 9 goes into 45. 5 is the other number given. And then 9 is not a prime number, so we have to write 9 as 3 times 3. Now, we have to write the formula, but only use the prime numbers. So I'm circling the prime numbers. Now, instead of writing 3 times 3, what's a shorter way to write 3 times 3? Ethne? 3 squared. Yep, 3 to the second power. So write 3 times 3 as 3 squared times 5. And that equals 45. How about 21?
3 times 7.
3 times 7. So 3 times 7 equals 21. Both of those are prime, so we can stop there. Let's get to ones that are maybe, this is where it gets fun, because you can decide, not every tree is going to look the same at the middle and the top, because you might start with a different number than somebody else. Okay? But when you end up at the bottom with all the prime numbers will all be the same, or they should be. So, when we start with 130, what number goes into 130? Olivia? 10. 10 times what?
13.
10 times 13. Okay? Now, you might have started with 5 if you wanted, or 2. There's multiple ways to do it. But you should end up with the same numbers at the bottom. How do you factor 12 then? What's the factors of, or sorry, 10? Hillary?
2 and 5.
2 and 5. Are those prime? Are these all prime numbers?
Yes.
2, 5, and 13. So write 2 times 5 times 13 equals 130. 2 is prime, isn't it? How would you break down 2 other than 1 times 2? Yeah. How about 84, the last one on this side? Megan?
12 times 7.
Okay. 12 times 7. Then what? 12 is not prime. 7 is prime. But 12 can be reduced to, broken down to, Trevor?
Thanks, Nate.
4 times 3?
Yes.
Or did you say 2 times 6? 4 times 3. Then we can break 4 down into 2 times 2. So now our formula is 2 to the second power times 3 times 7. Okay? Question, Bennett?
So I did 2 times 42
Yep.
equals 84, and then 2 times 21.
Yep, equals 42,
Yep.
and then 3 times 7. Yep, and then you got 2 times 2. Right. And so then you break 2 times 2 as 2 to the second power. And then times 3, and then times 7. Okay? On the back side, I want you to keep doing this. Then do 9 through 12, but you can skip 13 through 16. You can skip 17, and then do 18 through 20. Okay? Let's do number 9 together. What is 2 squared times 3 squared? Nate?
4 times 9.
Yeah, 4 times 9. 2 squared is 4. 3 squared is 9. So that equals 36. So you are finding the answer on those, okay? What's 5 squared? Is that 10? No. What's 5 squared? Matt?
25.
25. 5 times 5. Okay. So, what's 3 to the 4th power? How do you figure that out? 3 to the 4th power. That's 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. That's not 12. Johnny?
You can figure it out by doing 3 times 3 times 3 times 3.
Right.
You just do 3 times 3.
3 times 3 is 9 times 9.
And you win, and 81.
Yep. Any questions? All right, have fun.
Oh, yeah.